Next topic, that is scopes in Spring Bean, scopes of Spring Bean. IOC container not only creates Spring Bean class object, it can maintain that object having scope. That's another advantage. Scope means what? Visibility, boss. To what extent that is visible? To what extent that is visible? That is discussed in scopes, guys. Nothing else. Nothing great. To what extent that is visible? That is being discussed in what? Scope. Right. Okay, let's see what we can do in the scopes, guys. Right. Where is this, boss? Here is my Eclipse idea. No. Eclipse. This is our ID, right? I think this is your ID. Let me keep that. Okay. Paint, open it. File, open. Class content. Where is this? Spring. Where is this spring? Tell me here, what is that? 515 spring core. 515 spring core. Followed by that, what is the next thing, guys? Followed by that, what is the next thing? Spring core module. Again, not audible? No. Problem is your side, guys. Don't blame me. Yes, guys. Where is this? Setter injection, constructor injection. Setter injection versus constructor injection. Not that. Yes, March 8th. Spring Bean scopes. See, in Core Java also, we can keep data variable in a scope, na? Block scope specific to that open for bracket and closing for bracket. Next, local scope specific to one method. Instance scope specific to one object, right? Class scope, static variable, guys, specific to entire class. Thread scope, specific to each thread. We have a thread local class object, guys. If we keep any object inside the thread local, that becomes what? Thread scope. That definitely becomes what object, my dear? Thread scope object. In standalone application, we can keep data in the following scopes. One is block scope, method or local scope, instance scope, class scope, thread scope. In web applications of Java, we can keep data in following scope. Request specific to each request, session specific to each browser software, guys, come on. Page scope specific to current JSP page. Next, application scope specific to current web application. What application, guys? Specific to current web application. So these are the scopes that we have in application management, right? We can make IOC container to keep Spring Bean class object in what? Different scope. The Spring Bean scopes in 5.x, 6.x versions are singleton, prototype, request, session, application, WebSocket. Singleton, prototype, request, session, application, and lastly, what is there, guys? WebSocket. These are the scope. Same in 5.x and what? 6.x. Same in what? 5.x and also in what? 6.x. Right. Web service application, nothing but RESTful application is extension of what? Web application. So I am highlighting, these two scopes we can use both web applications and distributed applications, right? Even standalone application. So these two scopes are applicable in standalone application, web application, distributed application. Last four scopes are there now, boss. Okay, last four scopes are they are applicable only in web application and distributed application. So cannot be used in what? Standalone application. So minimum web application is required to enjoy what? The remaining four scopes. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on, everyone. Super. Okay. To specify Spring Bean scope, we use what? Scope attribute of bean tag in XML driven configuration. Not so important because XML driven configurations are becoming outdated day to day or not, guys. To specify Spring Bean scope, use @scope annotation in annotation driven configuration. What, guys? Yes. Okay, annotation driven configuration. This is very, very important or not, guys? Scope is class level, method level annotation. That means it can be applied on the top of the class and on the top of the method or not, guys. It can be applied on the top of the class and it can be even applied on the top of the method or not, guys. @scope one side, @component another side, right? Okay, single means what? One. Ton means what? Object. Singleton means one object. Sir, in the as part of list of scopes, singleton is there. A singleton class is also there, right? Both are same or both are not same. They sound similar, they look similar, but they are not same. Are you getting my point there, guys? Yeah. If no scope is given for Spring Bean, what is the default scope? Singleton. If no scope is given for Spring Bean, what is the default scope, guys? Singleton is the default scope we are having, right? Yes. Okay, now listen. Singleton scope is different from singleton class. Both sounds similar but different, boss. Both sounds similar and what different. So let me add that point, guys. Singleton class is nowhere related to singleton scope of what? Singleton class is nowhere related to singleton class of stupid mouse. Okay. Singleton Java class is nowhere related to singleton. What is there? Is nowhere related to singleton scope of Spring Bean. Singleton scope of Spring Bean, guys. What is singleton Java class? The Java class that allows us to create only one object in any situation is called as what? Singleton Java class. Okay, both sounds similar but both are different. In any situation at max it allows only one object. What's your problem for multiple objects, sir? Very simple theory, guys. When you create multiple objects, that too without data, that too with the same data, or that too with the read-only data, unnecessarily are wasting memory, na boss. Instead of that, create one object and use it for what? Multiple times. That sounds bit better, na boss. That sounds really better or not, guys? Create one object and use it for what? Multiple times. Create one object and seriously use it for what? Multiple times. Convinced with me, my dear. Come on, everyone. Got the clarity here? Super. Instead of creating multiple objects for Java class, either with no data or with what? fixed data or with shareable data where memory and CPU time will be wasted, it is recommended to create what? Single object. Use it for what? Multiple time. To use the memory and CPU time effectively. To use the memory and CPU time what? Effectively. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Note. The Java class that allows us to create only one object in any situation is called singleton class, boss. What is that class, guys? Singleton class. Are you getting my point? Though Java class allows us to create multiple objects, if we are happy with creating single object for that class, then the Java class is not called as what? Singleton Java class. See, any situation, if you try to create 100 object also, you should allow me to create only one object. That is singleton. I have a class. Actually, we can create any number of objects, but I am happy with one object. Do you think it is called singleton class, guys? No. Though you are trying to create more object, containers, okay, the class should allow us to create one object. Then it is called singleton class, guys. For example, I'll ask one question. Servlet container create object for our servlet component class. Okay, how many objects it will create, guys? One object. Can I call our servlet component class is singleton? No. Your servlet component class allows us to create any number of objects, but you are not creating object. Container is happy with one object. Since container is happy with one object and adjusting with one object, can I say my servlet component class is singleton? We cannot say servlet component class is what? Singleton. Are you getting my point there or not there? Convinced with me, my dear? I want reply, my dear. Come on. Super. For servlet component class, the servlet container creates single object. Though servlet component class allows to have what? Multiple object. So we cannot say servlet component class is what? Singleton class. Can we say servlet component class is singleton class, guys? Super. Okay. Though programmer wants to create multiple objects, the singleton Java class allows us to create only one object in any situation. Only one object in any given situation. So can I call that class as singleton class or not? Can I call that class as what? Singleton class? No, boss. Though programmer want to create many objects, but class should allow only one object. Okay, I'll take one thing. You are there in forest department. No one is giving bribe. That's why you are not taking bribe. Will you be called as sincere police officer or sincere officer? No. Since no one is giving bribe, you are not taking bribe, right? You are not called sincere. Your posting is in wrong place. You are there in police department. You are there in excise department. You are there in revenue department, but you are not taking the bribe. Then you are called sincere. Since no one is giving bribe, you cannot say yourself as sincere. Though people are offering bribe, but you are not taking the bribe. That too by staying in popular departments like what? Police, revenue, and etc. Then we can say you are a sincere officer or not, guys. Say something, my dear. I want reply, my dear. Super. The programmer wants to create predefined singleton classes are java.lang.runtime. In one application execution, how many runtimes will be there? One runtime. How many runtimes will be there, guys? One runtime will be there, not multiple runtimes, right? There will be only one runtime, not the multiple runtimes. Are you getting my point there, guys? Come on. There will be only one runtime, not multiple runtime. Okay. So if I give that runtime as a class, better to design as a singleton. You try to access that runtime 100 times, but same runtime